Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. I'm going to show you why I think we might have another leg down. The next point I'm going to go into a long, and I'll help you find some points too short if we do push up. Guys, if you like this content, leave a like. I appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, that's up to you. If you've been following me, I've been talking about the FOMC and US elections. I was saying I think it's possible we have some downside for the markets, and that's going to cause Bitcoin to drop. Well, I'll put a link to this video now if you want to check it out. But since we already had a drop because of FTX, now we might have some downside for the stock market, and guys, as you know, Bitcoin follows the market. So this is what I'm going to cover today. By the way, guys, get on the exchange you trust. I use BitGet, love the platform. If you want to sign up, my link's pinned down in the first comment description. By the way, look into getting a VPN to protect your privacy. And if you do want to access these charts, guys, website's optiworkcrypto.com. That link will be pinned in the first comment description as well. So let me get into this. Again, this drop was pretty substantial, and the markets were up. We're going to cover the Dow, the DXY, a few other things. Now, I'm going to show you some calls I made, and this isn't to toot my horn. This is to show you how to play the charts. If you practice risk management and you wait for the trades to come to you, you can make a good bit of money. So I just want to show you, this is the M1 chart. This is a published version. It's published on October 29th. We're talking about the FOMC and US elections. Again, this has nothing to do with the elections. This drop was because of FTX. I just want to play this out and show you. You can see, we dropped right at this point, and we're below a key resistance right now. I want to show you, so I've made some calls, and I'm going to show you. So this is our Discord. This is under Optical Art Updates. This is where I make updates. I made some calls, all right? So I set to long here at 19,665, and then I set to short 20,591. I did make a call to long right here at 18,774. That was actually a bad trade. I lost $1,000 on that trade. Then when price pushed back up, I said that this would be a likely point too short. Sometimes you'll blow through resistance, you'll blow through support, but when it comes back up to test it, or comes down to drop, or drops down to test it, it will hold. And that did play out. So again, I got 3 out of 4 calls correct. Just want to show you. So, and we're going to cover the P1 chart. We pushed up, got rejected here. This chart has been dead on accurate. This chart also shows that next support level if we have another drop, another leg down. But I share all of my trades. This is where I entered a long trade. And I show you guys my stop loss, my take profit, my entry. You can see I entered a long here, and I said I adjusted my stop loss, and I said I adjusted it again. Then I said I took profit, and that I would re-enter on test of support, and I actually did that. Said as I said I would. I re-entered long on test of support. This is why I was longing. We were at support, and I expected us not to drop below this point. We pushed up. That was a good trade. I was explaining why I took profit. So the next point to enter short was 20,469. I showed that I was in my short right here, and you can see we had a hell of a drop from that point. This is the bad trade, guys. This is where I said to enter along here, but remember, it's risk management. You set your stop loss below, so if it breaks past it, you get stopped out. So again, this was the bad trade, but this, I knew that this could be strong support, and if we broke below it, it'd be strong resistance. So that's why I said where I thought would be a good point to chance a long could be a good point to chance a scalp short. So this is where I said to enter your short, and you can see we dropped from this point. And if we go to the actual chart, you can see how much we dropped from this point. I mean, that right there, just from that point, was almost an 8% drop. So again, you can't get every trade right. I tried to set up these charts to show you key support and resistance levels. Again, it's about risk management, but 3 out of 4 I don't think is that bad. This was the other chart I used, the H1 chart. I'm going to help you find some support resistance levels to pay attention to. But we pushed up. This is point too short. This is where I longed. And I'm going to give you these support resistance levels below. This is, let's see, this is under live trades, guys. Just want to show you how well people have been doing. Now take note, some of these are 75 times X, 40X. 225% profit, 326, 422. I mean, when you play these big moves, if you're patient, you can make a fortune. This person, 384% profit, 443, 852, 1,972% profit at 125x. Guys, I don't go over 50x. 99% profit, 2,627%. This, let's see here. I guess a lot of trades here. Up over 1,200%. 1,000%, 1,221%, 844%, 608, 926, 4. It just keeps going. 1,000%, 1,200%. Let's effing go, Steve. Thank you. So everybody's happy. We made some good trades. And there's going to be more, guys, because there's going to be some upside and downside. There's a lot of volatility. I also did create another channel in Discord where, guys, I'm just one person. You know, I do share my calls under optical alert updates. But since, you know, there's over, what, 3,000 people in our Discord, everybody here is serious about trading. So I created this channel so people can share their own trade setups. And while some people might be right, some people might be wrong, a lot more people looking at the charts are likely to see something I might miss or other people might miss. So you can look at what people show, and you see everybody shows what they found, and then you can use this to help you with your trade. And if you see a lot of people pointing at the same targets, likely that will play out. But this channel has been very helpful for just, I mean, I was looking at a chart and thinking one thing, and then I saw some people making some posts and I changed my analysis. So this is a great channel just for people. They only post trade setups and what they found. Even the DXY, and I'll show you that in just a bit. Somebody showed me that in Discord. So Discord is a wealth of knowledge. Everybody here is serious about trading. So if you do want to sign up, you do get access to Discord, Twitter, and the charts. All right, guys, so let me get on to why if we do continue down. Now, again, this has to do with the stock market, the DXY, which I'm going to show you. But I want to show you if we continue down the next likely support level. First, we're going to use the M1 chart. If you've been following me for a while, guys, I've been talking about this guideline. This is this chart where I said to short. You know, every time you hit one of these lines, we get rejected, we get rejected, we got rejected. That was a hell. We played like 3 major shorts off of this point. And now we're above this point. So that resistance is now going to flip as support. Now that target, and I'm going to show you another chart in Confluence, but if we drop, and I'll show you why a drop seems likely. Don't forget, guys, the CPI release is tomorrow. If that comes out you know, about the same, lower, we could get a pump. If that comes out hot, we could possibly get another leg down, and it just makes sense. I'll show you why this is the case. But just going to show you right now, there are a lot of charts in Confluence around 15,800, potentially 15,600, and this is that guideline. Previous resistance will flip as support. So this is where I'm going to go in and along. This is just showing you on the M1 chart. I'm going to show you also on the P1 chart. I'm going to come back to some of these other charts and give you key support resistance levels. So this is the P1 chart, and guys, this chart has been so accurate. Keep in mind, this is the chart that I'm using to predict a downside target of around 9K or possibly lower, and you can see how accurate this has been. It came up, hit this point, got rejected. We're close to this support level now. I do think this will break. This is the published version of this chart. I'm just going to zoom into that area. Just want to show you. This is published on May 31st. So if I zoom in, just want to show you how accurate. I mean, I took the time to map out the direction of price, and once you do that, you can actually find your key support and resistance levels. So let me hit play and just show you this. So notice we're at this point. I'm going to hit play. We got rejected here. We came down, found support, and notice right here, we came up and we hit this almost to the dollar, right? Got rejected and came down. Now, using these lines, we know price is respecting this angle. So if we go back to this chart, I just want to show you this, and I've talked about this before. Once I create the chart, you can actually use the lines in the fib channels to find key support and resistance levels. So if I draw a line, a parallel to the fib channel line, and we bring this down, just want to show you the confluence here, right? And that looks about right. So you notice right here, you got support, you got resistance, resistance, support, support, more support. Right here, this would be your next support level, and what price target is that? Let's see. That is right here, right on par with the M1 chart, around 15,800. Directly below us is about, I mean, it depends on where you put it, guys. I mean, that's why I use multiple charts to get an idea. But that's around 15,800. We have another leg down. This is in confluence with the M1 chart. This is the guideline. So this is where I will go in and heavy long. After I cover a few other things, we're going to go through the charts, and I'll show you likely points to go in a short if we push up, and give you some smaller targets as well. So let me go back over here. So again, the P1 chart, this This is influencing the one chart. So 15,800 is where I'll go in a long. It'll be a scalp long up to a certain point. I do think we have a lot more downside, but it's not going to drop down in one straight line. You're going to get bounces. So I think this is a likely point too long. I will be longing there. Let's go on. So, and as I mentioned, you know, we had this drop, and I've been talking about after the elections, we're going to have another drop. Now, you can see the Dow here is pretty much topped out. This is just a trend line from the peaks, right? I have it on line drawing. You can't see the wicks, but we're pretty much topped out. It would make sense that at this point we could have some downside. This also ties into the DXY. So markets are topped out, and we start having a correction, and we start dropping with the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ. Bitcoin's going to come down as well. Right now you can see, and you can see we're already down. I do think the markets are topped out. You see the Dow starting to drop right now. The DXY, now this is what someone showed in Discord. That's why having access to the Discord really helps out. I mean, it even helps me figure stuff out. But I would just like to point out, this looks like a bear flag. I mean, this is actually a bull flag. You just go from the distance, you know, from the top to the bottom. And if this breaks up, you know, your target is up here around 116 for the US dollar. Now keep in mind, we're at support right now. We're at support on a fib channel line. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. So we're at support right now, pushing up. Remember, the DXY, if the dollar's pushing up, traditional markets will drop. And if the dollar's pushing up, Bitcoin will drop as well. That's why I'm saying we could have another leg down for Bitcoin on top of what happened because of FTX. So if we continue pushing up, right, and then we break above, you know, if we break to the upside from this this bull flag, that puts you at 116. You say, well, why 116? Well, that's just a trend line from back here, right? This was our resistance. This is back here in 2015. This is our resistance in 2016. So it looks like the DXY is set up for some upside. And again, if the DXY pushes up, that means markets are going to come down, Bitcoin's going to come down as well. So follow the DXY, DXY up, Bitcoin down, DXY up, traditional markets down. This is bearish, all right? Guys, the CPI. So I look at it this way. You've got to get the best entry point, but tomorrow they're going to release the CPI numbers. Now, if the CPI comes down, it's like 7.2%, or if it's pretty much flat, it stays the same. I think markets might see that as bullish. We could get a pump. I think it's likely we'll have some downside first and then might push back up to resistance. But if the CPI comes in hot, you know, 8.9%, 8.96% or 9%, something like that, if it comes in really hot, I would expect to get another dump. But just because we have the CPI release coming out tomorrow, the Dow Jones is pretty much topped out. Remember, guys, all the markets typically move together. So if the Dow's topped out, we've got the DXY at support in a bull flag, potentially with some upside 116. Guys, we could have a lot of downside. Let's go on, guys. So let me give you your key support and resistance levels. Let me just go through these charts. Again, if we do have another leg down, I've showed you why. This is going to be a very strong support level. This is on par with the P1 chart. So again, I have a lot of faith in this target. Now again, anything can happen. If I do long a 15,800, I'll probably have my stop around. You know, I'd probably have a little lower because you do have some crazy wicks. I'll probably have my stop around maybe, depending when we make contact, maybe 15,500. Maybe a little tighter, just depends. But I do think we'll catch a bounce here. We'll probably push up a bit and get rejected. I can tell you right now, you can see that just like this fib channel line here, this is where we topped out right here at 21,354. So you can see we're respecting that. We're also respecting this line here. All right, so this is going to be support as well. So if we break below that point, right, so let's say that we come down and we do hit that target around 15,800. Well, that means if we push up, this would be buy. Let me make that green. So again, I'll be longing around 15,800. If we push up, you know, likely point to enter short is around 16,662 because that will flip as resistance. We come down, we break this. This would be the point you long. This would be a point you potentially short. Obviously, if you continue above it, you want to stay on your short. But that would be a safe play in my opinion. Now let's go through these charts. I'm going to give you your smaller swing trading targets. I just want to cover a couple of these and show you why likely points to enter. Now right here, you can see, and let me What I say, guys, is always just look left. You can see that this right here, and as price progresses, you can kind of see how price respects these lines. You can see this was a lot of resistance. It became somewhat support, and then it became resistance. So you could have entered another short right here, and that's what I say, guys, make sure that you get the best entry. So when price is finding support, it broke below, see it wicked all the way back up, you would not want to trade in here. If you trade in here, you're just asking to get stopped out. But when price comes back up and hits a resistance level you know has been respected, this is where you enter another short, 17,963. Just the G1 chart, if we go down, this is the next key support level. Again, another chart in confluence. This is a little lower. This might catch a wick, but it does seem like 15,700, 15,800 would be the next likely point to catch a long. If we do push up, guys, well, let's look at this chart. I don't see us getting above this point. This line right here actually goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. This is where I wanted to chance that long, and we broke through it, but we came back up, it was resistance. So I can tell you this, if we do push up, a next likely point to short would likely be potentially 18,577. Depends when you make contact, guys. This is line at an angle. So 18,600 up to 18,000, maybe 18,800. Again, that's at an angle as well. But these would be likely points to short if we push up, which I think will be nothing more than a scam pump before more downside. But it's the markets and the DXY you want to pay attention to. But these would be likely points I would short. This would be the first point you would enter a scalp short. If we do get above that and hold support, these are the next targets to watch. Very strong resistance. If for some reason we got one hell of a pump above that, I do not see us going above, potentially 19,400. That has, you can see how much support and resistance this has been. Resistance, 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 support, 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 right? And that is also where I longed. We pushed all the way up to here. So if we did get one crazy pump, I think the top would be around 19,400-ish before we have a lot more downside. This is the H1 chart. I just want to show you, and by the way, I did forget to mention this. We broke below, all right? This was the lowest point that we went back in, this was the 18th of June, 17,600. We broke below that. You can see currently we're holding on it now. So we've already broken below this point, which is, I think, pretty bearish. You see we're holding now, but again, once we break below this point, then I think it's a given we're headed down to around 15,700, 15,800, where I'll be going in along. I can tell you this, if we do push up this line right here, this is on par with what I just showed you in the other chart, 18,800, likely point to enter a short. It's going to be a lot of resistance, guys. I do not see us getting back up to where we were. We might get a little pump, but again, I think we only have downside from here, and that does tie into what I just showed you with the Dow and the DXY. Let me go through these charts. I have quite a few up here. So this is the H1 chart. This was, again, another chart I used to short. And I said, look, and that's what I told you guys, where I was talking about, how this would play out. This was in Discord. I was showing this, that for exchanges to not pay out on shorts, typically what happens is you have to get a pump. This is what I was talking about. It's either going to play out two ways. We're either going to get one major pump, and then we're going to get a drop, right? That gets that liquidates or stops out shorts, gets people to long, and then they dump it, or we could just continue sideways and go up before we have a drop. Well, because of what happened with FTX, we got this pump and then we got a dump. So let me get back to this chart here. Sorry guys, I didn't plan this out too well. So we did get a pump, we got a dump. So I think it's possible we could push up. Have to see what happens with the CPI. Let's see here. I'm all lost now. All right, so right here, 20,500. This is where we shorted. This is where I longed. So I can show you right now. Just guys, always look left. I took the time to map out the direction of price. You know where long and short. So your current key resistance right now, if we push back up and we test this, this would have been an ideal point to short right here. 17,895. So your current resistance right now to watch is around 17,800. If you get above that, well, your next point to short would be right here around 18,327. And if we push up, I don't see us getting that high, guys. That is a target to watch. You see this has been a lot of support right here. It was support here and support here. So that is a target to watch. That would be that would be an ideal point to short if we hit 19,600. I just don't see us going that high. Let me give you some smaller swing trading targets. This is A1BG chart. I have multiple charts in different time frames, but if you look left, you can see why this was a lot of resistance right here. And I can go back a little further. So this was a lot of support and resistance. You see that's why we got rejected at this point. Make this larger as you can see it. 17,832. And why we're holding support right now, well, you can see all of this support and resistance. You just look left and you can see a lot of resistance, a lot of resistance, a lot more resistance. And that's why that's currently holding as support. So basically the same thing. Just go back and look. Hold on. You can see right here. These white lines I have marked off because these are the strongest support and resistance levels. So if we go back and we draw a line right here, just to outline this line to show you why this is the case. Right, all right, let me zoom out a bit. So right here, you can see a lot of resistance, a lot of resistance, a lot of support, more support, almost touched it. So that's a key support level right there. Here's another one, a lot of resistance, a lot of support and resistance. So that's your next key support level if we come down. And you can already see the resistance levels above. So if we drop, guys, let me make these bigger so you can see it. So if we come down, look, your next support, 17,123, your next strongest support level below to catch a bounce. Well, you know, right here is around 18,680. And if we drop below that, your next support level below will be down here around 16,367. I don't think we make it to that point. I think we'll catch a bounce around 16,700, 16,800. And again, if we push up, your next resistance to watch, 17,747. And again, another target and confluence with those other charts I was showing you. And you say, well, why would that be strong resistance? Well, just look left. A lot of resistance, flipped out support. So that would be a likely point to enter a short. So it looks like if we push up, likely point to enter a short is around 18,376 to potentially 18,800, something like that. But these are your key support resistance levels for swing trading. Just remember, guys, I expect some downside with the markets because the Dow seems to be topped out. The DXY is at support in a bullish structure. If the DXY pushes all the way up to 116, expect some downside with the markets, which means expect some downside for Bitcoin. And just because we had this major drop already while the markets were up, that means if the markets come down, expect a lot more downside. But again, pay attention, guys. Go back and watch it again. I gave you resistance levels to watch, but just know that if we drop down, I will be longing 15,700 to 15,800. I think that pretty much covers everything, guys. If you do want to sign up to Bigot, my link's pinned down in the first comment description. Guys, look into getting a VPN to protect your privacy. If you do want to access these charts, website's opticalcrypto.com. The link will be pinned in the first comment description. I did add a new tutorial video. It's kind of an updated version of how I chart. If you want to learn my method of charting, check out the tutorials. And remember, if you sign up, $49 a month gives you access to Bitcoin charts, Discord, and Twitter. But guys, that's it. Just remember, there's going to be a lot of volatility, and I will be longing around 19,700, 19,800. That's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.